The Bald Man. The Bald Man is a Japanese ghost who is known as Kanbari-nyudo, who is obsessed with spying on people when they are on the toilet or taking a shower. At night, the bald man goes from house to house, peeking in bathroom windows and watching people while they are sitting on the toilet, taking a shower or getting undressed. He is an old, creepy-looking Japanese man and he shoves his head up against the window and drools at the mouth while he spies on you, hoping to catch you in the nude. Years ago, there was an old man who was obsessed with seeing young girls naked. This creepy and depraved individual stalked the streets of his village at night, peeking in the windows, hoping to catch a glimpse of bare flesh. When his family found out about his disgusting behavior, they were ashamed and refused to have anything to do with him. To punish him, they shaved his head and banished him from the village. The bald man built himself a hut in the mountains and went there to live as a hermit. He did his best to stop thinking about girls and nudity, but it was no use. His sinister urges were taking him over and he was powerless to resist. Finally, he gave in to his weird compulsions and, in the dead of night, he crept into the village and kidnapped a young girl. He brought her back to his hut, where he kept her tied up and did horrible things to her. One day, while the bald man was away, a thief came across his unguarded hut, and decided to steal the man's belongings. When he went inside, he found the young girl who had been kidnapped. Taking pity on the poor girl, he untied her. Just as he was helping her escape, the bald man returned. There was a big fight, but in the end, the thief managed to kill the bald man and brought the girl back to her grateful parents. After that, the bald man returned as a ghost and began to appear outside the girl's house. He wore a white kimono and peered through the windows at night, frightening everyone inside. The parents were worried the ghost would attempt to kidnap her again, so they hid their daughter. From that time on, the bald man's ghost has been going from house to house, peeping in the windows of toilets, bathrooms and bedrooms, desperately looking for young girls. They say that if you chant his name, Kanbari-nyudo, in the bathroom, his bald head will sometimes appear in the toilet bowl. If you chant, Kanbari-nyudo, lesser cuckoo, in your bathroom on New Year's Eve, the bald man will not trouble you again. In one story, a young girl was going to the bathroom, late one night. She stood up and reached for the toilet paper when she heard a strange chuckling noise behind her. She turned around and saw a face pressed up against the frosted glass of her bathroom window. She could make out the features of an old, bald man and he was peeping in on her and laughing quietly to himself. The other side of the window was covered in drool. The young girl was petrified with terror and ran out of the bathroom with her pants around her ankles, screaming for her parents. When she told her father what she had seen, he flew into a rage and ran outside to confront the disgusting old man. However, when he got to the alley behind the house, he found it empty. Then, the father looked at the bathroom window. There were iron bars across the window and there was a 10 centimeters gap between the bars and the frosted glass. There was no way anyone could have pressed their face up against the glass. A chill ran down his spine as he realized that whatever was peeping at his daughter while she was on the toilet, it could not have been human. In another story, there was a young Japanese girl who was very embarrassed about her body. One evening, she was playing volleyball with a bunch of other girls. After the game, she had to take a shower, but she was too ashamed to let anyone else see her naked. Instead, she waited until all of the other girls had finished before going into the shower herself. Alone in the dimly lit shower room, she dropped her towel and turned on the shower. The water pressure seemed to be weak because all that came out was a slow dribble of water. She did her best to wash herself in the weak trickle of water. Halfway through her shower, she heard the faint sound of laughter. He. It sounded like an old man giggling and chuckling to himself. She looked around, but she couldn't see anyone. She listened hard, searching for the source of the weird noise, but all she heard was silence. The girl continued showering, until she heard the laughter again. He. He. This time, it was louder. Hey you creep. She shouted. Don't think I can't hear you. She felt so vulnerable standing naked in the shower with nothing to cover her that she decided to hurry up and finish quickly. Just as she was about to leave, she heard the laugh again. He. This time, it was very loud. It seemed to be coming from above. She looked up at the shower head and saw something that made her run screaming from the room. Instead of a shower head, it was an old man's head, poking out of the wall above. He was staring down at her, grinning creepily and drooling all over her.